Hello, beautiful beings. Welcome to Soul Shift Messages. If you found your way here, trust there's something in this message for you. Understand this space is about growth, truth, and transformation. We don't bypass here. We don't sugarcoat, and not every message will feel comfortable, but it will be honest. I speak in flow, and that sometimes includes cussing. It's just part of how the messages come through. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't, and trust your own discernment above all else. Take a deep breath, and let's begin. If you're new here, please know at this time that I post weekly content in 3 parts. Part 1 focuses on what needs to be revealed, and that sets the tone and the topic for the week. Part 2 focuses on what needs to be understood, and it's often a deeper dive on what was discussed in Part 1. And Part 3 focuses on what needs to be done. It's about applying the revelation and the understanding into action so that you can ultimately overcome the understanding, be able to apply it, embody it, and move forward in your journey. So today's message is actually part 3. So again, that's what needs to be done. And without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this message. I am calling this one, before I forget, the links to part 1 and part 2 will be available in the description below. That way, if you have any interest in looking at the previous parts, that they're readily available for you. And I will go back and update part 1 and part 2's descriptions as well to point to part 3 once it's posted and available. Alrighty. Let's jump in. So I'm calling this How to Stop Overextending, Act Without Delay. So what needs to actually be done? So quick recap first. In part 1, the pattern of overextending was revealed. All right. You saw clearly where you've been overextending, where your energy has been misallocated, where effort has been one-sided, and where you've continued investing despite a lack of alignment or reciprocity. In part 2, we went deeper into understanding why this continues. You saw this is a learned automatic pattern that operates through perception, emotional activation, and real-time micro decisions that keep you engaged even after you recognize the misalignment. In part 3, we move out of awareness and understanding into execution. This is where the pattern actually ends. Not through more insight, but through precise, consistent action. This is about what it takes to fully disengage, to remove every access point that allows the pattern to continue, and to follow through in real time without exception or delay. This is the point where you stop participating and your reality begins to change as a result. I'm hearing nothing changes if nothing changes. They want to be very clear. You do not get out of patterns by not taking action. All right, let's break this down. Recognize the threshold. This is not a phase. You are crossing a permanent threshold, a before and after, and how you operate. Any attempt to return unconsciously to a previous pattern is self-betrayal. This decision will restructure your reality entirely, from how you engage to what you tolerate and how you recognize misalignment moving forward. The commitment to ending overextending must be total. Half measures will leave the pattern in place. I'm hearing commit. Commit. I don't know why I'm hearing this phrasing. They keep saying it to me. I don't like the phrasing. That's why I keep dodging it. I'm going to assume this is significant to someone. Please understand, this is just what I'm hearing. I forget what this is even from, but I'm hearing commit, you cowards. Commit, you cowards. I feel like that's from something. I don't know what. That's not my wording, all right? But commit, babies. That's your guidance. Commit. I don't know what that's from. I might have to Google that later. But detach from identity that sustains overextension. Overextension is tied to roles and identity. All right? This can be the helper, the fixer, the consistent contributor. I'm hearing the stabilizer, the responsible one. I'm also hearing the go-to guy. All right? Detachment requires naming urges as pattern, not the self. All right? This pattern is not who you are. All right? They want you to recognize, and you can even say it if you feel that would be helpful for you, this is the pattern, not me. That will create the separation you need between the self and the pattern, which will help the detachment. You are not this pattern. This pattern is not who you are. All right, disengage from roles or dynamics that reinforce this identity. Do not attempt immediate replacement. Allow identity space to collapse before rebuilding. I know this can be challenging, but as someone who went through this experience, I have to be honest, it was a blessing that I literally did not know what identity to move into as the old one collapsed. I genuinely think that was genuine protection, protecting me from myself. Sometimes all you need to do is just hold the space and tell yourself you will figure it out when it's time to know. All right. And that's really what helped me move through the fact where it was like, I know the old me is dying and I got no idea who the fuck is coming in to replace it. I'm here and allow yourself to be pleasantly surprised. Temporary feelings of disconnection, loss of self-definition, or lack of clarity are natural. I'm hearing you wouldn't fight a storm. Why would you fight this? I don't know who that's for, but this is structural detachment. That's all it is. It is not failure. Structural detachment. That's got to be significant for someone. I'm hearing leave room for grace. Take that if it resonates, leave it if it doesn't. All right, so next we have fully remove the pattern. No partial participation. Before I jump into this, they actually had me write a note because it could be easy to misinterpret this. So I want to take a moment and be very clear here. Fully remove the pattern. The pattern is overextending. That's your pattern. All right? And that's what they want you to keep in mind. I could understand if you're looking at the people who are embodying that pattern and presenting it to you in your experience as the pattern itself. And I want to be clear, those are two separate things. All right? The pattern of overextending is playing out through people. The people themselves are not the overextending. All right? Now, that being said, you do need, well, I'm not going to say you do need to, because that would be my opinion, but the guidance is put boundaries in place with the people who are embodying that pattern in your experience. All right? And use your discernment. Some of you may have people, who you do feel need to be fully removed from your experience. I will let you handle that as you see fit because you know your story best. But I just want to be clear. The pattern is overextending. The people are the ones embodying that pattern in your experience. And your guidance is, at a minimum, especially if you don't know where to start, is to put boundaries in place with those people. I'm hearing you already know what they ask you that causes you to overextend. For some of you, this is money. For some of you, this is time. I'm hearing a shoulder to cry on. I'm hearing a shoulder to cry on every day. How is every day like the fucking worst day of your life? It's stuff like that. But I'm hearing what these people ask for that cause you to overextend. And that's where they want you to put those boundaries in place. I'm hearing the wildest shit. I'm hearing, I can't afford all of you motherfuckers. Like, and I'm hearing my back hurts from carrying all of you. Yeah, those are signs that you need boundaries. You just need to put, at a minimum, your guidance is to put boundaries in place with the people, but understand the pattern itself is overextending. All right, I think I've repeated that enough. All right, the pattern survives through any remaining access point, no matter how small. Fully disengage from anything inconsistent, non-reciprocal, or misaligned. Do not partially participate, observe without acting, or delay disengagement. Even a single access point is equal to the pattern continuation. You gotta cut that shit off. If they want money, no money. All right? Some of you need to start getting busy so you can tell people you just ain't got time. Not in a burnout way, but some of you just make yourselves too available to people and they drain you. This is the season to get selfish. And for some of you, it will feel unnatural. And I'm here to do it anyway. All right, treat confusion as a termination signal. Confusion is not insight. It is the pattern's entry point. The moment confusion arises, disengage immediately. It is a red flag. Treat it appropriately. I don't know why, but I just heard treat it like the plague. Do not analyze, justify, or give time to resolve it. Leave it be. All right? Eliminate micro engagements. Small, habitual re-engagements are primary failure points. These include checking, rereading, quick replies, and mental loops. Again, with the mental loops, where attention goes, energy flows. So if you're thinking about it, you are feeding it. Guard neutral spaces to prevent the pattern from reactivating. Neutral spaces include boredom, idle attention, habit-driven mental activity. All right? You are trying to actively break out of shit like ruminating, replaying past interactions, anticipating or worrying about future scenarios, or seeking closure mentally. Those are traps that feed the pattern. So they want to be clear when they say disengage, disengage. All right, and for some of you, that actually does mean you need to get more busy. If you find yourself in your mind about this, one of the fastest ways to get out of it is to actually get into the body. Do something physical. It doesn't need to be very exertive, tidy up a space in your house, go for a walk, do some laundry, cook some food. There are endless ways to engage your body in that stuff, and that can help you start breaking the mental loops. Don't think about it. I'm hearing go to your nothing box. All right? The cycle does not survive through major decisions. It survives in micro decisions. The small things you consistently do will add up. And it may be difficult in the beginning to do that. But again, if you are able to get more practice, it becomes more natural, and then it just gets easier. In a lot of ways, getting started is the hardest part because this is an automatic process, and you have to break it to break the pattern. But it can be done. It absolutely can be done. All right? Act immediately. Delay is participation. As soon as you recognize it, instantly disengage without even thought, hesitation, nothing. Just boop, get the fuck out of that. All right? Waiting, over processing, or seeking emotional readiness is participation. The moment you perceive misalignment, the only correct action is withdrawal. I'm hearing pull your whole ass out of it. I'm gonna drink some water. I'm getting the weirdest downloads with this. All right. Reject mental justifications. All right, that's fair. Let me back up. I didn't mean those are the weirdest downloads. They're very interesting, and some of these are just not how I talk at all. So I will work on trying to find more neutral language. It's only weird to me in the sense that I don't actually talk about that. I don't talk like that, so I don't know where some of the stuff comes from, but thank you. I will be more mindful of that. All right, reject mental justifications. The mind will generate logical or emotionally appealing reasons to re-engage. You need to reject all. This is different. I need closure. I'll handle it differently this time. No. The pattern uses reason and perception to survive. Logic is no shield. Logic is still participation. Fully disengage. All right, expect and ignore reactivation attempts. After withdrawal, urges may intensify, emotions may soften, or external contact may occur. Some people, when they realize the old pattern isn't working, will actually push harder to get you to respond. All right? That is normal. In my experience, I have had that happen numerous times. Ignore it. Trust what you feel. All right? Do not respond, justify, or re-engage. These are pattern survival responses. They're not alignment signals. All right, this happens because the pattern doesn't want to die. People don't want to lose the access they once had because it benefited them. You have to remember, this shit does not benefit you. It does not benefit you. These are the moments where you have to choose yourself. And I can understand how challenging this step can be and how uncomfortable it can be when people are really acting up. Persevere, my babies. Okay? Because I actually recently broke this pattern. And I'm telling you, you can do it. But you have to consciously do it. Anytime you're trying to break a pattern, you have to consciously be aware of what is going on, see shit for what it is, and hold the line. Process grief without reopening the pattern. Fully feel loss without action, contact, or mental revisiting. There's no maybe later, no hypotheticals, no internal narratives. Any internal openness means the pattern remains active. And again, the pattern is overextending. Some of you may feel like you have to full-blown reject people, and I can understand how that feels and the emotions that come with it. And that is why I am again trying to remind you the pattern is overextending. You are not blatantly rejecting these people. You have to understand you are rejecting the pattern of overextending that has benefited these people. Say no to the overextending and see how these people react to it. All right, because once you start seeing that, you will get the information you need to determine if or what you need to do with the people. Okay? But put those boundaries in place. Say no. Say no and accept the fact that some people may genuinely not like that. And say no anyway. All right? Base actions on evidence, not emotion. All right? Observed consistency and reciprocity override perception, hope, or desire. If your feelings conflict with the evidence must take precedence. They want me to emphasize again, look at consistency. Because for some of you, some people are clever and they may try to switch up their words. Maybe some will go as far to try to change up their actions to try to get you back in the pattern. Look at consistency and reciprocity. People cannot lie forever. They can't. Some of you are going to realize that words are spells, but people's actions are not going to lie. Watch what people do. Watch what people say. Is it consistent? Is there reciprocity? How did they act before you put your boundary in place? And keep an eye on them for a bit after you put that boundary in place. People will show you who they are. Evidence always determines action, not your emotions. Evidence. You can love people and still see where they take advantage of you. All right? Because they actually want me to tell you, I flat out had to do this with members in my immediate family. People who I really thought, genuinely loved me. And then when I started putting boundaries in place, it got very clear that my output was more cared about. I'm not gonna lie, broke my damn heart. And it is what it is at this time. But if you really feel like I don't understand, I don't know how hard it can be, like I listen, I'm not gonna pour my heart out to everybody, but I'm just saying I have, I've had to do what I've had to do. based on what I've seen. And I just leave space to see how that family dynamic is ultimately going to land now that I've broken that pattern. And I'll see, is it going to be safe to re-engage once the pattern's broken and everyone kind of settles into what the new dynamic is. All right. Install non-negotiable structural boundaries. Restrict time, availability, visibility, and responsiveness completely. To break a pattern, you really have to create a new one, a healthier one, a sustainable one that also serves you, because overextending does not serve you. You need to look at that holistically. You need to remove emotional triggers. Some of you really need to separate the pattern and the behavior that you see from the people. And for some of you, that will feel unnatural. For some of you, it will feel cold. You'll feel very cold about it. Some of you might even feel like you feel mean. It is not always easy choosing yourself. But I am hearing it is very necessary, because the only person who is going to actually get you out of this pattern is you. Do not renegotiate or partially reinforce boundaries. That's why you're being encouraged in some cases to just start small. You don't have to boil the ocean with one big boundary. Start with something small. What's right in front of your face that is a pain point? Start there. Consistently reinforce it. All right? Why? Because only fully enforced boundaries collapse the pattern. If you cannot fully enforce it, it is pointless, because you won't enforce it, which means other people won't follow it, and that changes nothing in the end. You can always start small, see what happens, and update it as necessary. And I'm hearing some of you just need to start with the first no. All right? Stop using insight as a substitute for action. Insight alone does not end the cycle. Redirect all thought and recognition to immediate real-world disengagement. I don't know why, but I'm hearing play with your dog. So I'm assuming someone who hears this has a dog. If you do, tell your dog I said hi. But yeah, again, move immediately to something real world. Fully disengage from that thought and that recognition. Get back into your experience. I don't even care if you have to pinch yourself in the moment. Do something. Get right back into the body. Fully disengage from that. All right? No further analysis is necessary. It will not serve, only action. All right? Accept ego impact without repair. You have to accept the discomfort of loss, disconnection, and missed opportunity without reframing it or justifying it. I'm hearing it is what it is. Leave it be. Ego pain is natural. Responding to it is optional and undermines your progress. Accept discomfort without relief. You will experience calm that feels underwhelming, absence of activation, and temporary lack of drive. This is pattern withdrawal, not failure. And do not rush to fill the gap with action or stimulation. All right, that discomfort is draining the pattern. Let it drain. All right, eliminate all exceptions and future openings. You have to remove the just this once, maybe later, and conditional engagement. All right, conceptual and behavioral openness maintains the pattern. Again, the pattern is overextension, and the people are used to present the pattern to you in your experience. People's behavior shows you where you need boundaries to break the pattern. And it's not just you break the pattern once and the boundaries go bye-bye. No. It's going to leave us right into the next section. Stabilize through repetition. Only consistent action matters. That is the only thing that matters. Track. Did I disengage immediately? Did I follow through? You need to ignore your feelings, clarity, or difficulty. These are reactions to a learned automatic program. All right? That functions within you. They're not your truth. Pay them dust. All right? Inconsistency on your end means the pattern remains. Consistency means the pattern collapses. But you need to be consistent. Be repetitive. You need to understand the transition phase. Expect less activation, drive, and urgency. You're going to need disconnection from old identity and temporary emptiness. Stability is unfamiliar, but it's necessary. Do not force stimulation or false engagement. All right, once you hit that transition phase, you can go back into the pattern. Don't do that. If you hit the transition phase, you've already made it that far. Don't stop now, baby. Keep moving. All right, what changes after the pattern ends? Immediate detection of misalignment in all interactions. Faster, automatic disengagement. Disinterest in inconsistency or low reciprocity dynamics. Your standards rise automatically. Perception becomes precise, undistorted by emotion. Engagement becomes effortless and selective. Prevent recreation of the pattern. Apply these principles to new people, opportunities, and environments. Put your discernment that you have gained from this experience into use. All right? Why? Because the pattern is behavioral. It follows action, not circumstance. That's why just because the pattern breaks doesn't mean your work is done. Hell no. Keep going with it. Just because your discernment is now better doesn't mean you fall off. Stay consistent. You are learning new skills to carry forward with you. All right, self-trust becomes binary. Follow through strengthens self-trust. Overriding it and breaking your boundaries and re-engaging in this shit weakens your self-trust. All right? Self-trust compounds quickly, whether that is positively or negatively, based on immediate behavior. Expect delayed but inevitable realignment. Alignment and external support will follow after disengagement with overextension, not during it. You must complete it. A gap exists between withdrawal and visible outcomes. You're not responsible for filling it. Structural change allows alignment to enter naturally. But you must make that change first. So the final message, this process is mechanical, not optional, not negotiable. Remove all access and the pattern of overextension ends. Leave any access and the pattern continues. There is no in between. Fully disengage from all non-reciprocal dynamics. Remove all access points. Act immediately and consistently. Reject all exceptions and rationalizations. Accept discomfort and identity loss without reaction. Close all internal and external loops. Repeat aligned behavior consistently without deviation. The outcome is energy stabilizes, and I can confirm that is the nicest perk in my opinion. Your energy stabilizes, alignment becomes automatic, standards rise naturally, and non-participation replaces forced effort. Why? Because you retrained your system. The old reaction is no longer the default. The new skill that you developed by going through this process is what replaces it. Reality restructures around clarity, reciprocity, and sustainable action. That's all I'm getting at this time, so I'm going to bring this to a close. You can do this. I know you can do this. It's just a matter of, it's just about acting, making up your mind and acting consistently. I know you can do this, and I wish you the best. So again, this is part 3. All the links to all 3 parts of this week's message will be in the description box below. And honestly, best of luck to you, babies. I'll be back on Sunday with a new topic. Feel free to tune in if you'd like, or if not, either way, take care of yourselves, beautiful beings. Bye.